Tell me when they're good to start, by the way. I did have a question zero we could start on.
Mm, okay.
Hmm. Yeah, that's. Go ahead.
All right. I assume we were already recording or something.
Yeah, literally the first words are going to be, tell me when you're going to start.
Oh, well, fair enough.
So,
So, Zero, the topic of anime came up with a bunch of friends yesterday. We were talking about good manga that we had read, or rather, just things we'd heard about. And somebody mentioned the vending machine isekai one
oh
talked
Yes.
about a while back. Did that ever get an anime? None of us knew.
No, it did not get an anime,
Oh,
but boy oh boy,
boy, oh
hello?
boy, what? Sorry, you cut out there.
would it would be funny if it did.
Yeah. I didn't realize he became a Mentos dispenser and turned into a Mentos cannon, basically, to destroy a fire monster.
Yes. Started just smelling like Coke and Mentos and stuff, and it would. The entire premise only works because there's a girl that has super strength that can just carry him around like a backpack.
Yeah, just a little barbarian with more strength than accuracy.
Oh, the that's still I think my favorite just stupid isekai idea.
Yeah. I besides talking about that, I was also recommended Bofuri, which is the I don't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defense.
Oh, that one is yeah.
Over the last 12 hours, I binge watched the entire, and I think only season that's out right now of that show. And my God, it's so good. Watching this sweet little girl turn into this gigantic mech or monster, it's so fun.
Hmm.
The rapid escalation of I just hold my shield in the way and things die when they attack me to Godzilla or MP Evas was interesting.
Hmm.
See, I've heard about that, but I haven't actually watched the anime. But now you're making me want to.
Do it. It's good. It's only 12 episodes and they're all good.
Hmm.
That makes me happy.
Yeah. Speaking of ridiculous concepts for things, One Punch and
How
such.
is One Punch Man doing? I haven't caught up on it.
Uh, I've been reading the manga. They had one of the most insane chapters recently, like a feat of power that is. I don't think you can match that.
Is the fight over? Or are they still fighting?
The fight's over with -1 punches.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I watched the anime for research.
Season one or season two?
Both.
Oh, fair. So you saw the rapid degraded visuals, though.
That's kind of overblown, frankly.
Really? Oh, fair enough.
It's you can say rapid degradation in visuals, sure, but it's not like it's bad. It's just not as flowy as it was in the first season. So, it's
Oh,
more fairly standard anime, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that.
that's fair. I suppose I just saw someone probably cherry picking a bunch of the worst examples and just comparing it to like the best of season one or something. I haven't seen much of the second season.
Yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. And that is from someone who, yeah, there were a couple of moments in season one where I was just like eyes glued to the screen and letting them make tender, sweet love to my corneas, which was, that was fun. But you remember how we had a long-running joke of me being a hipster?
Yes.
This show that is incredibly popular, I'm not really that big of a fan of it.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, like, I really enjoyed the manga, but I'll quickly drop it and then just pick it back up a couple of months later, just because I lose interest.
Yeah, I mean, that that's kind of the thing. It's the risk reward of like it is a fun concept of the guy that is too strong to get into any real conflict, but at the same time, he's too strong to get into any real conflict. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the best for a long running narrative. It doesn't. Well, it relies on. It relies on everyone else having interesting conflicts, but I think it makes the mistake of having most of those other characters' conflicts a source of comic relief by front loading the joke of they're just waiting for Saitama to show up. They aren't explicitly doing it from their perspective, but they are.
Something really interesting about One Punch Man is that it was originally like just a scribbled gag manga,
It was a webcomic, yeah.
webcomic, right? And so it was very like not detailed in a lot of degrees, but then with the recent um I say recent, but with the redrawing and remaking of the whole manga, a lot of details have been added and a lot of things have been stretched out that normally would have ended a lot sooner.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the problem I have with the series is I am actually actively waiting for Saitama to show up because I do not care about what some of these characters are going through right now. Because it has been going on for so long.
I really wanted to like Genos. I wanted to, but I didn't.
Yeah. He's got the Worf problem in combat, and then out of combat he can be fun, but he's not like his own character most of the time.
Yeah, his entire character is played for laughs, but that is kind of unfortunate because now his character is a joke.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make it serious, but they spent so long making it a joke, it's just a joke.
Can't pull that one back at this point. It's done. He's a joke.
Yeah. So the amount of focus he gets is kind of unfortunate because of that. Whereas a lot of the other like big pro heroes are a lot more interesting because they weren't explicitly introduced as a joke. Like Tatsumaki is made fun of, but she's dead serious, a real deal thing.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Yeah. What's his name? Fuck. Metal Knight? The one that just shows up in robots and doesn't actually take the field himself ever. That dude is kind of unnerving, which is kind of cool. They're actually building a plot in this whole thing. Unfortunately, it's also related to Genos, so that's kind of unfortunate. And then you've got fuck, Bang. I love Bang. I love him so much. He's great. Just the old martial arts dude, and he knows full well that none of the principal cast will actually ever need to take him seriously because they just don't operate in the same way. But because of that, he just gets to be the cool badass instead of being the mentor type. And I really appreciate that. Yeah. And then there's King, who I really like King. Like, this is an example of a character that is made into a joke, but it doesn't ask us to take him seriously at any point, other than as just someone for Saitama to talk to. And that's it.
He's just a gaming buddy. Like,
Yeah.
the show never expects us to think of him as anything else. And we're in on the joke when he like intimidates people with his presence. But we know he's just like a
Fucking
paper
King
cutout
engine is
person.
great. I love it so much.
That's good. That's how you do a joke. It's great.
Yeah.
He wanted to know the location. Okay. Then after I gave it to him, I heard the roar of the King engine. It's supposed to be such a fucking badass moment, but nope. Because we know what that means, and it's great. Good stuff. Yeah, so there were definitely some things I very much liked about that show. I will probably watch the third season. I feel like the concept was what gained the hype, and not the actual content itself for the most part. It's good. The concept is great. The execution is good.
The manga.
It doesn't live up to the all-conquering hype that the show and story has received.
Yeah, I think it's also worth noting, I guess, the time frame in which it came out. Because it was just extremely high quality animation that just comes straight out of nowhere, and everybody was just immediately taken by it.
Kind of like Mob Psycho and that.
Yeah. Although with Mob Psycho has a higher focus on character and on character development. So while it did have the high quality animation, it also had the staying power, whereas One Punch Man is built upon a gag. And that gag, it's not funny for very long. But what you do end up having is people end up staying because of like either the extremely high level of just art, or whether it be animation in terms of the manga or the anime, or art in terms of the manga, because the manga is beautiful. Absolutely one of the most beautiful mangas I've ever seen, with the way the art is drawn. Which is why people were very critical of the art dropping in season 2, because that was one of the main selling points for the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I did look when the show came out for season 2, 2019, so it doesn't get the free pass that most everything else did that came after that. So it's just kind of disappointing. But oh well. I'm sure there will be a season 3 and it will be okay. Hopefully it will have a conclusion, unlike season 2, which just kind of stopped halfway in the middle of an arc.
I don't even know when season 2 started. I didn't watch season 2.
Season 2 ended with the defeat of the giant centipede.
That's a really odd place to stop. Okay.
Yeah. The giant centipede, and Garo is winging away currently. That is where it stopped. Yeah. A little weird. Yeah. So that was an interesting experience. That is me catching up with the thing that I probably should have watched years ago for the sake of staying in the conversation. But, you know, that's how I roll.
Hey, it's interesting to hear your perspective. I've come to have my own criticisms of it over time. because it feels like there's some pacing issues with the series, like serious pacing issues, which I get because originally it was villain shows up, Saitama hits them once, over, but then they wanted to draw it out and
This is going to sound like a very, very specific criticism. But
okay.
it is. You're right about the pacing because it is paced like a story that had to be rewritten, but with no tidying.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, just we're gonna rewrite stuff and we're going to like stretch some things out because maybe we can expand on them and build some actual story to it because the comic didn't have as much. And then they do that, but it's kind of slapdash what they choose to extend, and they ruin the original pacing, but don't really set any cohesive pacing for the rewrite because they don't have time to worry about that because shit's got to come out.
Yeah.
So, is what it seems to me as someone who did do a rewrite and did it kind of like that, and it didn't work out very well. So that is my perspective on that particular aspect. Yeah. So that is One Punch Man. It's cool.
Yeah.
So we should probably roll another one, huh? Oh wait, Patient made that joke last week, didn't he? Yep.
Yeah.
I'm original.
I'm excited for the Chainsaw Man anime.
I look forward to watching that in 8 years. So it's well after the conversation has moved on, as I have here. So, yeah.
Sure, why not?
Bleach anime got a new trailer. That's cool.
Yeah. I saw that it appeared, but I did not watch the trailer.
I've seen many pictures of Matsumoto. That's all I've seen of it.
So, I'm gonna. Can I talk about Pokemon?
Sure.
Because they showed a new Pokemon trailer, and so they're adding some interesting features into it, like the ability to send out a Pokemon to just auto battle. You just throw them out into the field, and they'll just go fight stuff.
Yeah.
Gather items, and they'll come back later.
Is there a chance they lose and come back with no health and nothing, or?
I don't know. But
that would be interesting. You just get a fucking ping message of like, "Hey, this Pokemon has fainted. Go get them."
Hey, your Bidoof ate shit. Go find it.
Poor Bidoof.
I'm kind of looking forward to something very specific because there's going to be people just for the sake of the meme of sending out Pokemon that are like level 2, like just, starting area, the Patrats, the fucking Bidoofs, the Rattatas, whatever, the equivalent for this gen, and just sending it out in the middle of Victory Road. Good luck, buddy. Like, just right into a field full of Graveler or something.
If there's no chance of failure, like, why not?
I'm just looking at the site right now. Your Pokemon can be sent into an auto battle against any wild Pokemon you see on the field, and can even find Pokemon to engage in auto battle on its own. Well, it's engaged auto battles. You can stay by its side to watch over it, or just go look for items. And by defeating wild Pokemon in auto battles, your Pokemon can also earn items and XP points. So yeah, they don't mention anything about what happens if they die.
Just go grind for me.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. I don't want to level. You go do it for me. It's a pretty actually good way if you have like a new Pokemon you added to your team that's too low leveled, so you just go send to go grind.
Mm.
They also
Does feel a little bit like fuck. What was his name? The douche with the Charmander. Sorry, the douche with the Charmander.
yeah from the anime.
Yeah,
Just like go get stronger.
yeah. That's literally what he was like. Oh, it's gonna bug me now. I don't remember his name. Was it Damien? No.
Something like that. I don't know. There's an antagonistic team called Team Star.
Yeah, that
they're
are
based.
just delinquents.
Yeah, they're just school bullies.
Yeah, it's fair. Honestly, that's kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Tone it down, guys.
So, something they are doing with this game is that they are having essentially three main stories. Which are, let me see if I can find the name for them again, because
I was right. It's Damien.
Damien,
Yep.
you were on the money.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm so proud of myself for knowing the name of a character I saw like 20 years ago that was in one episode of a show.
Very nice. So, okay. So you have the Victory Road story, which is going up to Champion, which is there's 8 gyms. Go fight the gyms. You can fight them in any order. You can go wherever you want. You can go fight the gyms, and then get the champion rank, right?
There is a lot of hope that that whole you can fight the gyms in any order thing means they will have different teams based on how many badges you already have.
Yeah. No confirmation as to whether or not they scale.
Yeah.
Then you have an entire like you have the Path of Legends, which is seeking out
Find legendaries.
fighting Titan Pokemon and seeking out like rare stuff and probably is what's going to Legends, obviously, per the title. And then you have the you have Starfall Street, which is the fighting against the evil team storyline. And probably like a post-game thing that combines all three.
I'm gonna be honest, that whole team thing sounds like I'm kind of into it. I just want to do fights with delinquent gangs. Like fuck it.
They get on top of cars they call Starmobiles.
I'm all about it. This is fucking Fury Road. Let's do it.
You have to defeat them and their car. Apparently.
Okay.
Take down each squad's boss by defeating their party Pokemon and their Starmobiles, and also the Starmobile itself will get in your way. So kill their car.
It's literally fucking Fury Road. We Mad Max in this bitch. I'm all about it. Straight up Mad Max, in fact, because of that one boss that we saw, which looked very much like a Mad Max character, except less covered in muck.
Mela, the boss of their fire crew, which I presume they have different crews of different like types and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting. And then they got some new Pokemon and stuff and new characters. And one of these, they have like the exclusives, which are Armarouge and Ceruledge. Armarouge being like a red knight that can create like a Mega Buster.
Yeah. Arm cannon thing.
And then Ceruledge being a ghost knight that has dual swords.
Yeah.
I want it. I want a Ceruledge very much.
People want the fucking Scarlet waifu cave lady, but no. It's a ghost knight and it's got fire swords. I
Yeah,
I need it.
and
I need that.
it turns them into great swords during battle, and its unique move allows it to is a fire type move that also steals HP.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, but like normally that type of stuff is like grass
Bug or
specific.
grass.
Yeah, but now I get a fire type move like that. Heck yeah, it's a Dark Knight, you know. And there's also the new crab Pokemon named Cloth,
Yeah, that's.
which looks distressed at all times.
I kind of hope that's an evolved form of Kingler.
That would be hilarious. But yeah, no, I'm very excited for this. Like they're doing some cool things with this game, and I hope it all works out and that it's not implemented in the worst way possible.
I hope by the end of the game you are the champion. You have Team Star as your personal enforcer's army. And you get to ride on your own personal Starmobile, which is that fucking legendary that's on the fucking box.
Oh, the legendary in the box you can totally ride. Yeah, those are
Yeah,
mounts.
exactly.
There's an unevolved form which we're probably gonna ride until you go through the one of the storylines to evolve it or something. But yeah, yeah. So like, if you feel like you're stuck in one story, you go over to another story mode, or you can just complete them all one by one, or all at the same time. Really trying to make it, an open world Pokemon game, as open as can be.
Yeah, I really hope they get the balance right for that sort of stuff.
Because if I can, I'm gonna just dash straight over and get myself my Ghost Knight as my starter.
Yeah, it's really hard to beat that concept. It's really good. It's really strong.
It's a haunted suit of armor with great swords. Like,
Yeah, it's on fire.
looks like a Mega Man enemy.
In counter to the one that looks like Mega Man, yes.
They both look like they're designed by the same person. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just hyper fixated on that for a bit. Did you have anything else that you wanted to go before I continue on, Casey's?
I played the Hololive fan game called Holocure, and it's really good.
Yes,
It is.
they released a new update.
They did. It now has the two English generations, so that's you know 5 that everyone pretty much knows, and Council and Iris, whatever.
It's 11.
Yep. And then it added the gamers from Japan, which is a weird name for their generation. I didn't know they were called that, but Okayu, Korone, Mio, and Fubuki. So probably the generation that most people in English-speaking territories will actually know. And then
Yeah.
Gen Zero.
Which are the first.
Yeah, so Sora, who is pretty much only known for being the first one that ever existed. Azuki, who I don't know anything about at all. Roboco, same. Suisei, who is the kind of terrifying one on many different levels. And Miko. So, that's a pretty hefty content update, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
and added a second area as well.
yeah, nearly doubled the roster. So, it's pretty big.
And added new items and also revamped the first zone entirely. Changed a lot of the sprites of the enemies to be more in line with more representative of the girls' different fan bases.
Yeah. Apparently, Suisse doesn't have a mascot character for her fan base, so I don't actually know which one would be hers of the ones that I've seen. So
I have not seen it. It's probably in stage 2.
I think it is. Yeah, I think stage 1 is all of the English ones, and stage 2 is all the new Japanese ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a fun game. I had not played it before they did the big update, and the big update was the thing I was waiting for before I was going to play it, and that is really solid gameplay. It is basically Vampire Survivor for people that played that. But
It's also free.
It's entirely free, and they didn't like slack off on making it feel like a fun game to play. It is very referencey for stuff that is from Hololive, but very enjoyable. Good stuff.
Callie is very fun to play because originally when the game launched, she was probably the least fun to play, but then they added an update to her and just revamped her kit, and she's just been great.
I have pretty much systematically been going through all of them and playing them all to test them out. They all play kind of different, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Which is pretty neat. I think Fauna was the weirdest one because her kit is all about keeping her alive.
The more she heals, the more damage she does.
Yeah, it's really weird to play, but I don't hate any of them so far. Like, they're all kind of fun. Bay is probably the weirdest one because her stuff is all about crits and dice rolls and shit. It's weird.
She can get 4 times crits, which means things will typically die. Mume is just consistently powerful of being able to get her damage so high up that everything will just die. And Iris had to get nerfed multiple times because she just would not die. And even then, she's still OP.
Good problem to have. Yeah, so that's a good game. Enjoying it a lot. Very much a game you play in like very short bursts. Like you do a round and then that's enough. I feel pretty satisfied with that. I'm gonna stop, come back to it in maybe a few hours or just
Yeah.
So
Play for a bit, get enough for a gacha, do the gacha.
get angry.
They added a system where if you get the same character, you can spend a gambler's tier to just pick a character.
Yeah. So, I believe I only had to purchase one before I got all of the characters. So.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, so that was pretty convenient. Yeah, so that's fun. I've been having fun with that, and that's pretty much it for what I've done this week. Zero. Question before we don't jump into everything else. Have you continued to watch She-Hulk?
I dropped it after the first episode.
Oh wow, okay. Never mind then.
Can I get a vibe check from you, good or bad?
I didn't watch it, so that's why I was asking. I wanted a reliable opinion, but if no one's watched it, then I think we've said all we were going to say on it.
I've seen enough reviews that I can kind of cobble together pieces of it and had enough conversations with people. But yeah, definitely the reason I'm not going to watch it is not actually the twerking bullshit. I don't care about that.
Yeah, who cares?
It's more silly, stupid dancing. I don't care.
Some people very much care, but we're just kind of wondering why they care. But whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. I just don't like the bad mouthing Bannon part.
What? Bad mouthing banner where
oh yeah.
Is
I will say the one criticism of the twerking that I did appreciate, which was, hey, it's a Hulk twerking. That should have some impact. And there's been a fan-made video of her doing the twerk, and it like lifts a desk off of the floor from the shockwave.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That's pretty good.
And the artist Prevalence has also made quite a few pieces of similar
Yeah.
animation.
I don't know. I got a bad vibe from that first episode. Like when it feels like this is very much. I don't know. Felt cold and corporate, I guess.
That's fair.
And like a very like it didn't feel. I didn't feel like whoever was making this had any passion.
We're checking those boxes.
Yeah. And that was not something I was interested in watching.
I've seen someone get weirdly passionate in defending the show, and the way they defended it came down to, hey, this is about women, so if you have a problem with this show, you have a problem with women and feminism. And for one, that's an incredibly unfair and like presumptive take. And for another, this is really cheap feminism.
Yeah.
It's just girl boss feminism, and I thought we were over that by 2020.
It's the same misguided strong female character sort of thing.
It takes a while for corporate to catch up for the fact that we're past girl boss. We can stop now.
Yeah. I would very much appreciate female characters that are allowed to be female characters and not female icons.
Yeah.
They have to be icons.
But they don't know, though that's the... They can be
That's
icons by
what
being
corporate
characters. I know I'm playing along with the argument.
Yeah. If they're not icons, then how will we get the next Wonder Woman?
We don't have a Wonder Woman. That's the thing. Yeah. We don't have those because those are unrealistic. We don't have a Superman either. Like, the characters that are infallible and don't really fail, a lot of people find them uninteresting because they're unrelatable, and that's kind of why people want more female characters, so that they can be relatable to women and not these perfect archons of femininity, of being strong, independent women who don't need no man. Like, okay, that's fine, and it is absolutely okay to not need a man. I'm not gonna like pretend that's like a problem, but regular people need help and fail at things, and that's good and relatable characterization.
There's feminism, and then there is the corporate man's feminism. Of like, why don't you like this? This is for you. You know?
Yeah. Oh well.
Speaking of corporate, I saw the live-action Pinocchio movie.
Oh, sorry. One last thing. I did want to mention this because it did come up when my phone keeps pushing so many fucking articles about She-Hulk. I wish it would stop, and I'm starting just like saying stop sending me this. But one of them did actually say I was totally on the money. They just wanted it to be Ally McBeal, but with She-Hulk.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's fair.
I nailed it. They wanted it to be like a show from the 90s. Yeah. Anyway, you were saying, shit, I forgot when I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
I saw the live-action remake of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
How
Wait,
was
the one
it?
from like the 90s or 2000s?
They made Disney put out a new like live-action Pinocchio.
Oh. Okay.
With I think it was like Tom Hanks as Geppetto.
Okay.
it is okay. So I wanted to first under. Everybody knows the history of Disney and their recent live action remake frenzy, right?
Oh boy.
Of Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and Dumbo and Cinderella, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, the ones where they're quote unquote saying something beyond the very basic messages of these fairy tale stories that already kind of had a message, but they need to be metatextual now instead of just basic morals and Aesop's for children.
So, Pinocchio does basic morals and Aesop's for children.
Okay, good start.
Um, while it is live action, there's all it's mostly CG because you'll have things where like there was that one Fox character from the animated movie who's now
Yeah.
a fully like they took that character and just made him 3D CG, looking a little bit realistic but still expressive and a bit cartoonish in a sense.
Okay.
Um, I mean, Jiminy Cricket is there and talks like Jiminy Cricket, looks like Jiminy Cricket.
All right.
It it's it's just good. It's how it should be with like a little bit more added stuff and special effects and a few extra added characters, but I mean, they get across the point of the morality of the tale of, being truthful, brave, and selfless. And Pinocchio, you can see him go from being a um, very innocent, uh, easily misled boy to, growing his own sense of right and wrong, and it's just well done. I was actually very surprised by
What?
it.
What? Wait, you're telling me Disney didn't fuck it up?
They didn't fuck it up.
My God.
They they didn't do something like remove all of the talking animals. They didn't um, make everything extremely realistic and stiff. Uh, they just did the thing.
It's like my entire understanding of the universe and what makes everything move has just been flipped on its head and everything's backwards now. How do I go on living like this?
They even throw in, well, they don't have full-on songs. They usually have like a bit of music from the original movie, or even sometimes a full minute of just doing the song.
I mean, it would be a little bit weird if they were suddenly embarrassed about I Got No Strings when they used it in the Age of Ultron trailer.
Uh, they do a full musical number for that one. It just felt like a proper adaptation of the original Disney movie.
Actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I Got No Strings was performed on stage, so it was an actual in universe musical number, so it entirely makes sense.
Yeah. Um, I mean, they even like Figaro and the fish Cleo. They also get animated. Just a bit jarring because the cat is a CG cat,
Hmm.
but like that's the only complaint I can really say is that sometimes the CG is a bit jarring or doesn't fit too well. But I mean, that's okay. It's just basically the cartoon movie, but with some extra added bells and whistles. So I was actually very surprised by that. My parents were like, "Hey, you want to see that movie?" And I'm like, I don't want to. Disney's really just I no. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, "Oh, hey, that actually looks like the thing that I remember,"
Wow.
which was nice.
Okay.
Nothing forced into it or anything either.
Good job, Disney. Well done.
Yeah. It all just fits together. So I would recommend that actually. the new Pinocchio remake.
Now I've just got to wait for the tie-in game Lies of P, which is obviously set in the same universe.
I mean, obviously, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I keep hearing about Lies of P, but I haven't actually watched the trailer.
It is explicitly, blatantly just a fucking Dark Souls clone. The UI is almost identical.
Oh. Huh. I need to see this.
Yeah,
Live.
they have like 20 minutes of gameplay or something, and it looks like someone going through a level of Dark Souls 3.
You have me curious now.
Only instead of hollows, it's like clockwork puppets.
I mean,
Okay.
I'll admit I'm surprised it's more Dark Souls than Bloodborne. I was expecting Bloodborne.
Aesthetically, the environment design has a little bit of Bloodborne.
Does it look good?
It looks like
Does it
it
does
looks
look
like
it's going to be fun to play?
Bloodborne, and it looks like a Souls-like is what it looks like. Like, I mean, that's good, but it's also like, wow, we've seen this before by a studio we trust more. So I don't know.
I suppose that's fair. I guess on one hand, it's a new studio. On the other hand, it's a Souls game, so there's been a lot of those. They have a lot of resources to pull from. Like, okay, this is how it's done well. Hopefully,
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's just them doing, like, for all the also rans that didn't do particularly well, like Lords of the Fallen, which is also getting a sequel with a "the" on the beginning, so you know it's a serious sequel, and the Surge and things like that. Yeah, they were doing Souls-likes, but they were experimenting with the formula and at least trying new things. And Neo as well, that's another one. They were doing things differently to see whether they could, maybe shake things up, because directly copying what someone has done right down to the user interface is kind of a shitty look.
Yeah, when you look at the Gamescom trailer, it doesn't look anything like Dark Souls, but you look at the gameplay and it's like, yeah, no, this is Dark Souls. It's like if this is a really odd thing to show off and talk about in a year when Elden Ring was released.
Yeah. Oh. It wouldn't be the first game to get fucked over by Elden Ring. I mean, Horizon Forbidden West, was that the one? The new one?
Yeah, I think that game still sold well.
It sold okay from my understanding, but it came out the same time as Elden Ring, so just like how the first one came out the same time as Breath of the Wild.
I heard like almost nobody talk about Forbidden West.
Yeah. It's almost like a gigantic tentpole release that will be talked about for a decade came out on the same day. So,
I liked Horizon Zero Dawn well enough.
It crashed on me twice in the prologue, so I stopped trying. But what I saw was okay.
It's also like, oh, go hunt 7 animals so you can craft yourself your new upgrade, and then you can do a side quest, and I don't know, it's just sort of that like open world thing where it's I don't have time for that. I don't have time to go hunt animals and craft and gather so I can take down
The
robots
Ubi
a little bit better.
Yeah, the Ubi formula.
Yeah. And the story was interesting. I don't remember any of it.
It's post-apocalypse. There's technology went too far in some way. Oh, right, there was like a plague or something, and it wiped out most of humanity.
Yeah.
And you find out how that happened, and it was some douchebag, basically, that was responsible for all of it. And now technology has just kind of run amok with all of the machines that they had for doing like harvesting and stuff like that. They've all decided, hey, we've forgotten what we're for, so we just sort of roam and kill anything that comes close to us now.
Yeah, a big part of the appeal of the original Horizon was, why are the robots here? What's this truth about this world? And then you find that truth, and you're like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, there's not actually that much to it, and aesthetically, it's interesting. In the, it's it feels like you are very disconnected from Aloy as a character, because Aloy is all about this world and like she fits into it, but you from the outside as a player almost feel like a documentarian, just sort of going through it and discovering like the like you're an anthropologist discovering this civilization that is built on the bones of an old civilization. And yeah, you're discovering all of these things, but you don't really feel invested in any of it. It's just, oh, what a curious specimen and such, and this is an interesting way for them to do such and such a thing. But the story isn't really there. There isn't really a narrative for you to latch onto. It's just kind of built around discovery. Once you discover it, that's pretty much it, really.
Yep.
I guess you could call it a mystery sort of narrative, kind of.
Which is kind of why, like, a sequel, it was like, why? Right? Like, I felt no reason to return to that universe, you know?
I have no idea what the story of the second one even is.
Still very excited, though, even though, for Breath of the Wild 2, even though it's been pushed to 2023.
And even though it kind of has a similar problem of, like, hey, big bad guy is kind of dealt with, now what?
They introduced something which makes a lot of sense, which is like you weren't actually fighting the real body of Ganon, which is a thing in all of the games, is that you'll fight like a Phantom Ganon and then you go and fight the real Ganon later on. And you realize that the Calamity Ganon that you're fighting was literally just the Phantom Ganon of that game. And that the real body was trapped beneath the Hyrule Castle, deep underground. So that's the appeal of Breath of the Wild 2 is, okay, Link and Zelda are going to go and put a stop to this thing because it keeps leaking out this malice substance which is corrupting the world and creating monsters. So we gotta go find Ganon's corpse and just burn it or do something. Okay. But something goes wrong and he wakes up.
As it tends to, and as he tends to.
Yeah. Which
probably a case of nice job breaking it, hero, by destroying the ghost specter, whatever, it wakes him up, because that's how that works.
Yeah. Either you you wait around for just an eternity of monsters within a perpetual cycle, or you go and you just end it. So, yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure fans of Breath of the Wild will enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you have fun, Zero.
Something else that has been consuming my life is FF14 because they dropped a new patch.
Oh boy!
And they introduced a place called the Island Sanctuary in it, where you could basically you get access to your own uninhabited island. where you go and you gather resources, you capture animals and have a little animal like uh area so that you can gather resources from them, and you can name the animals, and then you just build up an island. You create buildings and
It's Animal Crossing.
yeah, basically.
Hmm.
And so that ate up a lot of my time of just, oh hey, I can't get a house in this game, but I can go to my private island and chill.
Would you like to spend 20 minutes telling us all about the stat significance of this island and what it provides for you in intricate and exhausting detail?
No, not really.
Oh,
It doesn't really. The only thing it really
That's-
gives you is like
that's usually
you
how
get
this
a
goes, but alright.
you get a currency that you can buy to unlock things like new hairstyle or a couple new mounts, stuff like that. Um, I mean, if you really want to like just go there forever and just farm resources, you can trade in those resources for stuff that may have actual value on the market for it if you want to make money. Because the best way to make money in FF14 is by selling it through the market board to other players.
Yeah.
And players are always in need of dye for their various outfits.
Cosplay and
So-
such.
Yep. So if you can get a way to reliably get out the rare dyes, you'll be making a lot of money.
Well, you'll be making a lot of money for now until the market stabilizes from a lot of people doing that.
Yeah.
So,
It's supply and demand. A new patch drops, and all of a sudden, one resource or material can be used to create the newest hot stuff. Now everybody wants that. Time to go sell that, you know?
yep. A new patch drops, something significant changes in the world, and the economy shits itself, and it completely gets upended. Yeah, it's pretty realistic simulation, to be honest.
And sometimes somebody will decide to undercut your price you put up by half and crash the entire price of whatever you're trying to sell. You know,
That is also a thing that happens,
and also a thing that happens.
and sometimes it's a really good thing. Fuck the oil industry. Anyway, so
Yeah. But I mean, new raids, new story content. Island Sanctuary was the big thing
because
Which
of the
is
housing crisis.
because of the housing crisis. Yeah.
Yeah.
You still can't put up any like decorations or furniture or anything that you would get for housing. But
But
I
you
mean,
get your own space.
you get your own space, and it has an orchestrion, which means you can play music throughout from all around the game that you've acquired on your island. So chill in that way.
That is a game I occasionally. No, I don't. I was
What?
going to say that's a game I occasionally want to go back to, but no, not really. At this moment, kind of a little bit, because that Island Sanctuary sounds like just a really nice, chill kind of experience.
Yeah, I think right now you have to have cleared the latest expansion to access it, though.
Yeah, that's never going to happen, so I'm good.
How far did you get?
Like level 15 or something. And like, I was still in the first region of wherever the fuck I was.
What server / data center were you in?
Whatever one Fresh recommended, because he was on it.
Well, if you want to ever get back to it, you could always just make a new character and on my server over on Genova. And
Yeah, it definitely
a-
wasn't that one. I think it started with a B.
yeah, Balmung.
Probably.
Yeah, if you come over to Genova, I got a whole FC, bunch of friends here. We can set you up with stuff.
feel like it'd kind of be better learning how to play the game first, but
I mean, set you up with information, because I mean, we're not going to hold your hand.
Okay, yeah. Because Fresh kind of tried to do that a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah, if
I get it when people are very enthusiastic about a game and want you to get into the meat of it very quickly.
yeah,
I understand.
something I found is that being able to go out and do things on your own, like some of the most difficult content in the game, if you don't know what you're doing and you're expecting somebody else to lead you, you're going to cause your entire team to wipe.
Oh yeah.
And that's no good.
Yeah, I pretty much don't do multiplayer content. 90% is because I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that fucks up because I know I would be the guy that fucks up. So.
Well, the nice thing about the FF14 community is that generally people are pretty chill. Like, people are pretty cool, and if you just type in chat, sorry, my bad, I didn't understand, they'll be willing to explain it to you and even give you a commendation afterwards just for being, talking with them about that, and because they feel bad for you.
Oof. I don't know. That sounds worse.
But it's nice people. It's most of the time you get nice people who are more than happy to see a new player and be able to guide them through. Like, I had very positive experiences when I was a new player, and we with like random strangers, and that definitely made me feel more welcome. Because like obviously, like at some of the most difficult stuff, you'll get a few toxic people every now and then. But even then, I made like a whole new group of friends just from going through the party finder and meeting random people, and they were just really chill. So
That's cool.
yeah, I had to overcome my own crippling social anxiety to do it, but
Oh yeah, that's always the first step.
once you get past that, it becomes much easier. So, yeah, it's been spending a lot of time in there, doing all the various tasks and stuff which are available to me. Trying to get a house still, which I don't need to go on that again, but it's a lottery system, so here's hoping I win the gotcha, basically.
How long has the patch been going?
Couple weeks.
Does it feel like it's materially helped the housing crisis at all?
I noticed this week at least that there's a few more houses for sale than usual, which is nice. But the main reason why the housing crisis is so bad is because normally, if you are inactive and you're not like actually going to your house over a set of time, like 45 days, the house will degrade and then will become a clear empty plot for somebody else to move into. So basically a way of making sure that inactive players don't just hold on to houses forever, right?
Yeah.
Now that system has been frozen because of, and it's frozen with good reason too, because of the war between Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, that's a good reason.
That is appreciated.
So no houses are degrading. So this freezing happened around the same time the lottery system was introduced, which means we haven't actually seen how it's supposed to work yet. So you end up with a lot less plots than you should normally have for houses. So, kind of a sticky situation there.
If it helps, the war's about to end. It feels like. Maybe that's a bit premature, but yeah.
Well,
it took a very sudden turn.
I've not been keeping super up to date with it, but
Ukraine just recently retook about 4,000 square kilometers of territory.
Oh, right, you're right. I read that they were making a push back, but wow.
Most of the Russian forces are in a complete rout.
Good to hear.
So yeah, that's gonna date this unless I actually put this out like today. I might put this out today. I might actually be responsible and put this out on time. Maybe.
There's been a lot of memes about current political affairs as well, with the Queen of England.
Oh yeah.
So, gonna date it just a little bit more.
People
But,
have been talking about that for a while.
Yeah. The mega mind thing popping up of, and there is no Queen of England.
Yeah, I didn't understand why that was being posted everywhere until I stopped and clicked on it once. I get it now. Yeah, I haven't seen that film.
Oh, you definitely should. It's really good.
Yeah. But aside from everything, I've just been he gave me $100 bill that he made with crayon, which is very nice.
Who did what?
A kid
Cut out
gave
for
me
like 10 whole seconds there.
Sorry. I was student teaching, and I mentioned how I'm not paid for what I'm doing, and a kid gave me a crayon-made, crayon-colored $100 bill that he made.
Oh,
Well, that's delightful.
And maybe a little sad, but also oh.
I got pulled to substitute for like 5th grade at one point, and they were great. And as we were lining up to leave, somebody T-posed. So I T-posed, and then we all T-posed, and they left.
That's all right. That's incredible.
That's the thing, is that with 5th graders, they understand memes. But, just having lots of good moments and a lot of prep work and other stuff that I have to do. It's hard work, but it's gratifying.
Yeah.
That's it for me, though. Slicer.
Hello. I wasn't sure if it was officially my turn or if anybody wanted to bring anything up. But I honestly haven't done much. I went back home to visit to Iowa, and I found out really quickly that my recliner actually is super easy to take apart. It's just got like 2 little latches you got to stick a screwdriver in and pop open. And it just comes apart. And so I was able to get it back up north. So I'm currently in my recliner. It's great. It's so nice.
Nice and comfy chair.
Yes, not only is it just comfortable just to lounge in and relax in and game in and stuff like that, but I'm not in my bed all the time, which, one, is bad for my back, and 2, it's causing massive sleeping problems. It's like I never leave my bed.
Yeah, that's that's a piece of advice I've seen for people with sleeping problems is to do nothing in your bed but sleep.
It helps a lot. Because, like, the temptation is constantly there, and it's very loud in your head. Of just like, I could roll over and just open my laptop up.
Yeah,
I could just roll over and access my phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say check my phone, which is the thing I do in the morning, and it's not helping.
Yeah, but if all you do in your bed is sleep, it's like, oh, it's sleep time, and that helps. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
So, been enjoying getting back on a regular sleep schedule. Kind of. I've only had a couple days to fix it, so it's going well. Happily enough.
Woo.
I was able to actually go to LARPing practice yesterday because I had enough energy and I woke up at the right time to do it. So that was fun. I feel like death now because my God, am I old? But
yeah, you're younger than me.
Yeah, but you don't be active. Like you don't.
That's not helping.
You don't be active, he says.
I suppose there was no good way to word that.
No,
I mean,
there
yeah,
isn't.
like, okay, You're older than me, but also you're really unhealthy. Like, fucking what?
I meant I'm sore, and I don't remember you mentioning you've been sore recently due to overwork of things. I'm not saying you don't do things. I'm sorry.
I don't do
You don't-
things, but you don't have
you
to
don't-
rub it in.
Oh,
You don't be active.
thank you. Let's see. I've been getting caught up on anime because I made the same friends I was talking about with the vending machine thing I talked about with anime a little while back, and I like made a list for myself, like an actual list I texted to myself to run through, and I can't remember a lot of it, unfortunately. I've made some progress on it, but Isegai Oji-san is probably the most memorable one I've done.
Yep.
That is painful to watch, but in a good way. I don't know. It's fun. The other one that I actually watched that was bad hurtful was or bad painful was Don't Heal Me, My Heal something with healer.
Redo of Healer.
No, not that one.
no.
Okay.
Don't. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Was about
The
to have
title
a
is-
therapy session up here.
I have watched Reboot of Healer. I've read the manga too.
Okay, that's a little deeper than you probably needed to go, but okay.
Well, I found the manga first, and then the anime came out. I read it a long while back. Okay, there it is. Don't Hurt Me, My Healer.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
It's about a human adventurer who always wears armor, and his drow elf healer, who in the first episode kills him and curses him, so he can't get more than 300 feet from her without dying again. I'm sure the series is funny for people who have not played D&D with bad parties before. Because
You're
wow,
right.
bless you.
I did turn away for that.
That didn't sound like it.
Did not sound like that was
I got a
quite
full
loud.
90-degree turn away from the microphone.
That was a dad sneeze. But yeah, I'm sure to people who've not played bad D&D, the antics of the healer are funny. I can't see them that way. She's just a little bitch, and I hate her. So that was not an enjoyable couple episodes that I forced myself.
I think I saw a trailer for this and I thought this looks like shit.
Yeah.
It looks like it's trying to be funny, but it doesn't have jokes or something.
Yeah, basically. It just has one character who has airheaded coolness. So, less fun on that front. I watched Labyrinth in Another World and Slave Girls or something, some combination of that. Labyrinth in Another World. I read the manga a while back. It was pretty good. The anime is very faithful to what happens in the manga, that's for sure.
Labyrinth of Another World with Slave Girls. I remember that I stopped reading it because I was done with slavery being a thing that protagonists approve of. I recall.
Yeah, that was I'm amused by how fast the spin is from a guy going, yeah, slavery's wrong, to, wow, this dog girl is hot. It's real quick, 60 seconds.
Oh.
It was made by a porn creator, and my God, you can tell.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hentai artists make the most gorgeous looking animes.
When I wanted to say about the whole "Don't Hurt Me, My Healer," it's kind of interesting because there's a way for healers in FF14 to be extremely toxic, and it's not just I'm not going to heal you. So in FF14, healers have an action called Rescue, which rescue pulls a target player out of a danger zone or from the other side of the map over to you.
Okay, interesting.
With proper positioning, it is possible to pull a player into a boss AoE that would get them killed or off the stage.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. So you never want to piss off the healer by complaining loudly in chat or being toxic, because they will kill you.
You'll get yoinked into an axe blade or something?
And there's nothing you can do about that.
Oh, that's bad.
I think they used to. I hear Dawn being like, "Man, I wish I could move people forward instead." And I'm like, "I know exactly why you want to do that."
I just want to bump people just a little bit.
But yeah, no, it's you don't mess with the healer.
Sometimes you need to, though. Just because you're a healer doesn't mean you're not a bad person, which is kind of why I hate this anime.
Sometimes you need to.
So yeah, I think that's it. I downloaded a couple games, but I haven't really played anything yet. I played more of Cult of the Lamb, which is fun.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even think of talking about that. Yeah, I got that too.
Yeah, it's good. I kind of wish the skill tree was a little more automated early on. It still I'm maxed out on the skill tree. I'm just kind of filling out some of the branches, but it still feels like every time I return to my camp, everyone's full of shit and starving, and some people have died. It doesn't ever feel like I can leave for the kind of dungeon crawls I want to go on.
Yeah, the whole the camp just keeps running while you're in the dungeon is not a feature I'm happy with.
It should be slowed down. I'm okay with it functioning because that it builds up resources for you to collect and level up with. But like the fact that it runs in real time is bad. People die of old age constantly.
Yeah. Like the mechanic of you can once you've completely cleared out a dungeon, you can run it endlessly is kind of a pointless mechanic. Because by the time you've done the first floor of it, it's a really hard choice whether to keep going or just go back. Just from the first floor.
I don't know. I kind of had the opposite. Like I always wanted to go the whole way, like redo the map like 4 times or whatever it lets you do, and hit the very end.
Might be why you keep going back and everything's full of shit and everyone's dying.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm more comfortable doing long runs like that.
Yeah,
it's like,
I would love to be able to do long runs like that, but I know if I try, then it's just gonna fuck up the camp, so I can't.
Yeah.
It feels like a mismatch mechanic.
It's close. It is very close. I do appreciate the duality of it. It's very Stardew Valley, but more Animal Crossing, I suppose.
I can't play that game because I'm a good Christian boy.
Ah, of course. But can you play Binding of Animal Crossing?
That's a complicated question with layers to it.
I mean, the funny thing is, you can actually play Cult of the Lamb and just do all of the doctrines that are very Christian.
It's true. Yeah, the doctrines are also, most of them are good bad.
Yeah, like there is one where it's like you can get the ability to sacrifice one of your villagers, or you can give them a funeral and it will give you devotion after you've done it.
Yeah, I think one of them is you can wrap the bodies when they die and prepare them for a burial and put them in the ground in a grave you make, and then people can go to it, and then when they pray or grieve or whatever, you get some devotion, or you can eat them for meat.
Yeah, that was it. It is very much that, where there is one that is just, hey, good person doctrines, or hey, actually Satan doctrines, or like Satan might blush a little bit doctrines, actually. Like some of them, ooh.
Yeah, one of them is, "Hey, we're a utopian religion." The other is actual cult. Drink the Kool-Aid, fucker.
Okay.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Honestly, it is very enjoyable to play.
I'm a little more lukewarm on it.
That's fair. I appreciate the melee combat in the dungeoning and the dodge roll being so good.
That's probably why I'm a little lukewarm on it. A lot of it feels kind of shallow, especially in the dungeon running.
Mm. How far have you gotten in dungeons? Like, what dungeon are you on?
I am halfway through the second one.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. The difficulty does kick up in 3 and 4. I haven't really gotten
It's
very
not
far
so much
into it.
about the difficulty; it's about the mechanics. It is very straightforward. Of hey, you will have a weapon. It will swing at a certain speed and do a certain amount of damage. You will have a special ability you can use maybe 3 times for if you get the right upgrades. And that's about the end of the mechanics.
I
And
suppose
the dodge roll. The dodge roll as well. That's it.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
like
you're not gonna.
it's a massively stripped down Hades.
Yeah, Haze, the famous
Yeah.
PS3 game.
Oh yeah, the one with the bees and shit. No, like if you play Hades and then go to this, it feels like so nothing. Like
That's fair.
they
I imagine it would be a similar experience if you played Binding of Isaac and then went to this. It's way more straightforward. You're not gonna make some weird, crazy demon Isaac. I mean, you're just you with an axe or a sword.
or dagger or the claws. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I feel like they focused a lot more on the cult management side,
Yeah,
which
it's true.
is fine, but that doesn't make the dungeon running feel like a break or a breath of fresh air or anything. It just feels like a dull thing that you need to do because it's the actual main thrust of the plot.
Yeah.
Of hey, this is how you actually progress the game, but 90% of your time is going to be spent at the cult.
It's true. It takes up a lot of time. Oh, you can also start with a hammer, but if the game forces you to take a hammer, just start over. Hammer's bad.
So I'm kind of lukewarm on the game, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
I had a good time with it for what I played of it, but I'm not sure I'm actually going to finish it. Or if I do, I'm going to wait for them to. They've promised free patches, updates, content updates. So if they fill some stuff out, maybe tweak some stuff, I might give it another go.
They have been rolling that out. The last time I opened up the game, it was on 1.05, and I've been catching up on the patch notes, and things are being fixed and modified. So,
Yeah, I mean, like 1.0 whatever is usually just like balance patches, but I'm talking about like content and material changes to how the game plays.
yeah, that
So-
might come. Hopefully, that'll come later. I would
Yeah.
like some to tweak things a little bit. It'd be nice. I've only talked to one other person about this game, and he actually suggested I buy it. So I didn't know about it before, but he had a similar problem where he kind of got to a point where it was kind of boring. And so he enjoyed it for what it was, but kind of lost interest and eventually stopped playing.
Yeah. Oh well. It is what
Yeah.
it is. It is very cute. I don't think I ever bothered with the very thorough customization system they have for your members.
Nope, I just made them all green.
I didn't even do that. I kind of appreciated that they were all very easy to differentiate, so I know which one I've pissed off recently.
Ah, that's a fair point. Yeah, I did kind of regret making them all the same color. I didn't really know who did what. I should have made them like the grays. You harvest the rock, and then the browns harvest the trees, and then I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I very early on, one of my villagers decided, hey, fuck this other guy, and just kept asking me to fuck him up in various ways. I'm like, okay, but I'm also gonna pay him afterwards so he doesn't get mad at me.
Yeah, fair. My people just kept wanting to eat shit, just constantly. Hey, make me a bowl of
Yeah.
poop.
Yeah, that was one
I
of
want to
them.
eat it.
Make this guy eat a bowl of shit and lock him in jail for 3 days. And I'm like, okay. And then I let him out. Sorry, and I gave him like $5. And it's like, yeah.
I specifically never made a jail. I got the doctrine that like you get happiness or whatever every day if nobody's in jail. So I never even researched the technology to make a jail.
I got one villager that was immediately like, um, I forget what the term is, but he like decided, fuck this place, I hate it.
Oh, the
And
dissenters where they get like the insect eyes.
yeah, that was kind of bad while he was around, and I didn't have the ability to build a jail yet. So I just kind of had to wait for him to go away on his own.
Oh,
At which
I
point he stole money from me. So
oh
at that point,
I
yeah, there is a jail now. And if you decide to be a dick, then you go in it.
yeah, I got the sacrifice doctrine. So anybody that gets those lizard eyes or whatever gets the tentacle, and then they explode.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Zero. I don't want to play that. I don't want to do the sacrifice thing.
Fair. You get a lot of experience for it.
Yeah, but you know.
It's great. So
The
yeah,
idea of managing a town like that and that sort of management sim stuff really doesn't appeal to me.
No. I mean,
it is
you
very,
play
very
Animal Crossing, I
complicated.
guess, but that's a much more laid back version of that.
Animal Crossing is very laid back. There's no deadlines or anything. You just kind of you can worry about yourself and like clean up your town a bit, but you are not managing stats or anything like that.
Yeah, no, Cult of the Lamb is very much about its deadlines and its meters that empty very quickly. And
Yeah, that's never anything I've never found any game to have that sort of stuff appealing. So,
yeah, I'm gonna be honest, that might be why I stopped really playing Minecraft when they decided let's have hunger. Like, it might be the
yeah,
easiest thing in the world to manage, but I don't want to manage it, so.
yeah, and I never understood the even the Fallout was like, here's an extra difficulty mode that adds meters, and I'm like, why do you want to make me not like this game?
I
Why have that?
enjoyed survival mode in Fallout, but that was because it was very unobtrusive and was just have some food and drink on you, and we'll tell you when it becomes a problem. And most of the time, you can just ignore it. Which,
Some mods kick that up further too.
yeah, that's where it
Not as
gets
bad as
to
it could
be
be.
not as fun. Feels a little hypocritical, but in fairness, Minecraft food is a hassle where the entire point of Fallout is you're surviving in a post apocalypse. So that's kind of expected to be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just um that sort of anxiety made it really hard for me to want to go back and play even Majora's Mask.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, because of the 3 day time limit and stuff.
yep.
And yeah,
I mean, the
Event
time limit has kept me from ever playing Majora's Mask.
I
So yeah,
uh
didn't know what Majora's Mask's thing. I played one Zelda game before I tried Majora's Mask, and that was the GBA one with the hat.
yeah, Minish Cap, yeah,
Yeah,
the one made by I think it was Capcom that made that.
yeah. I got to like the third dungeon, it crashed, and I'd stopped playing it. But I was having fun with it while it was working. Um, and then I tried Majora's Mask because everyone loves the N64 Legend of Zeldas. I'll play this one. Like the weirdest pick apparently in hindsight, but I tried it. I didn't really get it on any level, and then the moon crashed into the planet, and I still didn't get it. And then I looked it up how the game is supposed to play, and it's supposed to be a reset every 3 days. I was like, oh, never mind then, and just no
The
more of that.
the 3DS remake actually provided a very like helpful resource for keeping everything sorted on what your timeline for certain things are and how you can get those things done. And there's also like lots of little details that you won't necessarily know that I had a friend show me before, which is like the song of double time or the song of halftime, which allowed you to either speed up the timeline that you're working with or slow it down by half, giving you substantially more time to do things. Like a huge amount of time to do things. But like that game concept was just I don't like timers. I can handle like the weapon durability of Breath of the Wild because there were always plenty of weapons and like I in the same way I had to get used to um the timeline of Majora's Mask because it's always like well you can have infinite number of loops so if you screw up on one loop you can just do it again later and you can optimize your route which took some of the pressure off, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like when it's like a limited thing, like when this timer goes down, you're gonna lose all your progress. That's the thing that gets me like anxious because especially if we're like, oh yeah, we auto saved by the way, so now you just kind of, screw you, you know.
There was one game that I really got into that was all about time limits, and that was Dead Rising, the first one.
Yeah, it's kind of in a similar vein to Majora's Mask in that you have a 3 day time limit and it's all about optimizing your routes and the paths that you can go and discovering new things every single, loop.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily even about that because you can finish that game like you do one playthrough and you don't do very well because you're not really expected to, but it ends and then you keep your stats for the next run. Okay, cool. This time you actually give it a go and you've probably got a pretty decent chance of burning through the main story and just finishing it. And from that point on, you finish the game, so it's just, hey, try and get all of the things. And it's not a requirement, it's a self-imposed challenge kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is
Like,
probably why it appealed to me more. It wasn't a requirement that I get everything, but I kind of wanted to get everything.
likewise, in Majora's Mask, it's actually not a requirement to get everything because the stuff that you get, like items or upgrades, will also carry over. And if you defeat a major boss once on one loop, you never have to fight that boss ever again. You get its mask, you're good to go. So you can
That's
devote
good.
one loop to fighting a boss, or another loop to fighting a different boss, and so on and so forth. And there's tons of side quests if you want to do an extra loop devoted to like, hey, I want to catch this side quest. You can do that. And if you complete all the side quests in the game and get all the masks, then you get access to the Fierce Deity mask, which allows you to just basically just laugh your way through the final boss
Well, that's pretty
by
funny. I like
turning
that.
into like the most badass Link that is ever going to be in any of these games, which is Fierce Deity Link.
Yeah.
Get his outfit in Breath of the Wild. I mean, it's not upgradable,
Yeah.
so it's useless.
Yeah, but like
It took 2 fucking weeks to get that thing.
I think
because your child game in an adult form that's like 8 feet tall.
I think for Dead Rising, I wanted to do everything.
Yeah,
So I got very close, if I remember right. Like, I did all the optimization things, like, hey, get all of these magazines, and you can have the mini chainsaws that one psycho has for basically the entire run. And I think there were 4 achievements that I ended up not getting. I can't remember what one of them was, but one was Frank the Pimp, I think it was called, because it was 2006. And it involved having 8 female survivors following you at one time.
That one was rough. I didn't get that one either. And it's
Yeah.
not because it was too hard. It's because the game, there's only so many
There's
active NPC callers can be active at once or something like that.
There is
So
one point in time where you can actually get it done because it is the only point in time when there are 8 female survivors on the map. I didn't get it done because that was a pain in the ass. And the 2 others were the survivor achievements for the endless mode because my Xbox shut down automatically
fuck that mode.
while I was trying to do it.
Ugh, that was bad.
Mm.
Pretty much the entirety of your gameplay was just sitting in a shop and slowly eating a bunch of food.
Yep. You had to survive for 5 days, so it was just grab the magazines for making food more effective, and then just fill your bar with orange juice and coffee. So that when you need to refill your health with food, do it. And other than that, it's just checking the game every 10 minutes because otherwise the Xbox will pause. And if you leave it for too long, the Xbox will shut down, which means you lose your entire run because there's no saving.
That's frustrating.
It took, if memory serves, for the 7-day survivor achievement, it took about 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
No saving. If it crashed, that's it. You're done. If the Xbox turned off, that's it. You're done. If you look away for 10, 15 minutes, and however long it takes after that, that is time you have to make up. Because the game will have paused.
Yep. Or you wait too long and your health gets too low and you die.
Yep. It was not as fun as they probably intended it to be.
Yeah, it was just a slog. Bosses weren't worth it to fight because health items were more uncommon. There were no infinite stores you can pick from. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did not do that. I did not get the lightsaber. That is the bonus item you get for doing that. That made me sad. But I did get the Mega Buster, so that was cool.
It's kind of interesting, you have the difference between a game that has a time limit but then ends at the time limit and is meant to be like replayed many times versus a game that doesn't end when it hits the time limit but will save your progress as you go. It's just an interesting comparison point there.
Yeah, like just an infinite loop versus God, the most simplest form of roguelite. Like, holy shit, that was a roguelite game that was in 2006. That's kind of nuts. Because back then, roguelike was that's it. You go through a run, and if you die, that's it. You get nothing, you keep nothing. But, yeah. That was Dead Rising, where it just sort of kept all of your stats and shit.
Mm. Apparently,
unlock new things.
Apparently, Lightning Returns also had a time limit that got extended by you get additional days by doing the main story or side quests.
Was that the one where the protagonist is on a mission from God?
Probably.
I don't know, but apparently outfits gave her special powers.
I think that might be that one. I'm not sure.
I mean, at least that part is kind of a Final Fantasy staple. Like, that's been a thing since 10, I think.
Yeah, but they were like sexy outfits.
That's also been a thing. Yeah, it's not new.
The director had their waifu, and
yeah, it was very much. Gosh, 13.2 actually just makes no sense. And then they made a sequel to that.
They made a sequel to 13.2?
That's Lightning Returns.
Oh, okay.
That's 13.3 is Lightning Returns. Featuring only Lightning as your playable character.
You ever wonder, like, if they thought hey, we're just gonna copy Final Fantasy VII, and then they did, and they just sort of assumed it was as successful as Final Fantasy VII. Like, didn't check anything, just, yeah, we did it, so it's gonna be good.
Mm. Oh, gosh. 13 and 13. I never played Lightning Returns. I did play 13 and I did play 13 too. 13 is very much has a very unique setting, which is actually really interesting. And beautiful music and visuals. Just, gosh. You did some weird stuff with the game structure and the gameplay. And then 13.2 came out and the gameplay was great. Actually very fun. But the story was beyond incomprehensible. And I play Kingdom Hearts, so trust me on that.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts trains you in very interesting ways on how to deal with bullshit.
In order to change the past, we must change the future. That's the key statement they say in 13.2. Multiple times.
What was that?
In order to change the past, we must change the future.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it's a time travel game. But doing things in the future affects the past.
That's incredibly stupid.
Yes.
They're Square Enix. They made Chrono Trigger. They know how this works.
Yes.
I have to assume the people who made Chrono Trigger are long gone by now.
I don't know who worked on that game, but it was the storytelling. Maybe it was a bad translation. I don't know, but it was, it was really bad. And then also Lightning was now some sort of Valkyrie or something working under a god, which makes no sense given the context of how 13 ends.
There you go. On a mission from God. I said it.
Yeah,
That was
right.
that one.
But like, it made absolutely no sense because there's no bridge between the stories there. She's just all of a sudden somewhere else with a different role doing something else entirely unrelated. And it's never explained. Yeah, no.
I feel like we talked about the 13 apparently trilogy more than it really deserves. But, yeah.
Died for 16. It's made by the people who made 14.
Which is going to be weird.
14, though, it initially started out pretty meh on the storytelling. It got really, really good once they got some actually really good writers.
No, Zero. Hey, we made a great MMO is a weird pedigree for saying, hey, we're going to make a great single player RPG.
It's not like it's the entirety of the team. It's Yoshi P who's working on it, or Naoki Yoshida, who has worked on multiple games. Let me see if I can find exactly his pedigree because he's worked on. Yeah, he worked on Dragon.
Are you breaking up a little bit there?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Worked on Dragon Quest for a while, but primarily has been focused on Final Fantasy 14 for a long time. Which, I mean, if you can turn the original launch of 14, which was disastrous because the game itself was just super busted and the storytelling was bad, it was just awful, awful. And then they dropped a meteor on the game and then released A Realm Reborn.
Was he responsible for the original version?
He was a producer and director on the original version, and then he came back and was like, okay, let's do it right. And they did it right.
needing a do-over is also not a great pedigree for game design. Like, I trust me, I get it. Final Fantasy XIV is very beloved and everything now, but you don't really get a reset button quite as easily for a single-player game. So,
Well, to be exact,
not to say
he
that it was
wasn't
easy to get a reset button in
to be
multiplayer.
exact. I just looked it up. He was not the initial lead producer or anything on the game. They actually replaced the producer with him towards the end of the game's life cycle, so that's why he's credited. So it was they brought him in to solve the issue of the last person, basically, and he did.
Okay.
So he's beloved, made one of the biggest MMOs in the world. So yeah, people are feeling pretty good about it. Still need to see like 30 minutes of normal gameplay would be nice.
I hope it's good for the people who will be playing it. I will not. I have tried enough Final Fantasy games, mainline Final Fantasy games, and have not found any of them particularly appealing.
Did you try 7R?
No, I didn't, because if I was going to play 7, I would want to play 7, not the weird fanfiction remake.
Well, I enjoyed the gameplay of 7R quite a bit because it wasn't turn-based. It was like a weird sort of mix. It was
I will
made
not
by
play 7R for the same reason I will not play 10.2 or 13.2 or Lightning Returns. Apparently, it's a sequel. It's not the game.
It is.
No,
It is more of a reboot than a remake, as far as the story goes. Also, would have
Really
been better
not.
if it was turn-based.
It's really not.
It is. It is though. That they're doing different things with the story.
They're doing different things with the story because the original story happened canonically, and someone's trying to upend it.
I suppose that is the danger. Yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of
it's a
know the
sequel.
original. I kind of know the original story from Osmosis anyway, so I was just enjoying it.
I played the ones that are supposed to be good that are not 7. I played 4. I played 6. I played 15. I think I played 11 for a little bit, but we're not going to count that one for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, no,
honestly,
it's not for me.
I'm mostly there with you. I 15 was very simple, but I enjoyed the combat.
That is the one thing I wouldn't say I enjoyed. Like, out of everything for 15, the combat was miserable.
Well, uh, different strokes for different folks on that one, but
I mean,
I didn't. I
we
really
could have
haven't
an
played.
argument, but we'll skip that, shall we? Yeah.
I haven't really played 15 in a long time, so I'm just going based off memory.
Hold
And
the circle button.
I haven't played most of the Final Fantasy games, so 14 makes references to them. I'm like, I don't understand that reference, but somebody will explain it to me, I'm sure. Um, but I'm still enjoying 14 because, I got friends I'm playing with, and it does some really cool storytelling stuff on its own. But like the classical turn-based games, my ADHD brain cannot handle them for very long anymore. So too short of an attention span. Can't go back and play the older ones.
I suppose that's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, sir, I gotta make dinner and use the bathroom and stuff. Are we almost done? I hate to end it quick, but like, we've been going a while.
Oh shit! Last time I checked. Okay. Yep. So
This is a podcast, huh?
yeah. Oh, we all had things we could talk about. Go figure.
Crazy.
So yeah, I'm not going to be playing 16. I'm just not interested.
Okay.
I've been burned enough times that I'm just like, no. Same with Legend of Zelda. I'm done with those. Yeah. So
All right.
I hope it's very good for the people who will enjoy it, which includes Zero apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you wanna? We have thing? Zero? Psst.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Can now. You had some silence before where I assumed you were talking, but
Okay, so Ryu, thank you for your $10 donation. Your hit CF21. Thank you to Sailor of House Thunderbird for your $5 donation. Thank you to Vale for your $10 donation. Thank you to Boy by Fresh for your $20 donation. Thank you to Greek Guy for your $1 donation. Thank you to Ethan F for your $10 donation. Thank you to Bomb BCM for your $1 donation. Thank you to the Crossbrain for your $10 donation, and thank you to Troper37, to Miss Troper, for that $10 donation. You guys are awesome.
thank you.
Donation. Yeah. I think that we've been going for quite a while, so
Big chunky podcast.
big chunkers.
Yeah. Big.
So, see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody. Link in the
remember-
Discord in the description, the Patreon description if you feel like it.
Go check out the Pinocchio movie. It was pretty good.
Did they do the donkey scene?
Yes.
The Pinocchio donkey scene, I should clarify. There's another kind. We're not talking about that.
They have Pinocchio watching in horror as his friend turns into a donkey, and then Pinocchio begins to acquire donkey parts, and it's like, I'm out.
Oh, man. That film was great, but so very sad in some places. Like,
Oh yeah,
fuck,
no,
that poor
they
kid.
straight up bring like, oh yeah, no, these kids are being shipped to the salt mines. Yeah. And those kids never get saved.
Oof.
Yeah.
Just telling you right now, the moral of the story is if you drink and smoke and do all that sort of stuff, you're getting shipped to the salt mines.
Metaphor might be a little above the kids' heads, but it doesn't really need to be a metaphor. Kids, don't be a dick. Or don't be multiple dicks, I guess, if it's the plural of kids.
Don't make an ass of yourself.
There it is.
Fair enough. All right, I gotta go. So, see you guys later.
Later.